Alright. What's up? It shows violence today, huh? Folks, we have the logs of the dual logs, not a VTuber of fame. We've got Necro Valley, Kaiser Coliseum, Fog Extractions, and Eradicator. We're going to look up and said, no. We're going to say, I'm done. Fighting Zawardo. Going first, 40 versus our opponent's 50. And let's start it off, Raw 2. Alright, I mean, Pondron, Necro Valley Throne, Valley, Full Force Virus. Alright, we'll grab the judgment. There's the Necro Valley, Kaiser Coliseum. Yeah, Throne gets this Commandant. So the Commandant pass turn. Share. If you play, top 10 share moments. Number 10, Raid Keeper. Okay, looks like we're fighting the birds. 50 card birds.
Bhargav, come here.
What do you have to us? Well, you're going to have to judge with that for sure.
Okay.
Who are you recording this for?
Cutting it for the veg kurma
No, who are you recording it for?
for our office mates. We are doing a project of cooking. Collect all this together in a neat bunch. Then julienne it to quarter-inch size. So they fairly are even sized.
Wait.
Every part of the vegetable doesn't go waste, and try to cut it the same size as this. All are being cut to half-inch strips because the cut will be half-inch vertical to give you half-inch cubes or squares. Collect them like matchsticks and dice it at quarter-inch. Like this, you cut all the carrots in the similar manner, which I'll show you shortly. Now cut the cauliflowers also in similar sizes as you cut the capsicum. You should get an idea as to how you should cut. Cut the same things literally to this size, so we can as you approach, the circles get larger. You can then chop them into half, so you pretty much get the similar size, so they all cook evenly. Cut these in half, so you get similar volume shaped pieces. Idea is they have to cook evenly. and perpendicular cut 1. So you can now dice it at 1/2 inch to get cubes like this. Okay, repeat, cut 1 here, cut another here, keep them together, and 1 cut in the middle, and then dice it again. Keep them together, 1/2 inch. There you go. Get oxidized. You keep it under water so they don't brown. Likewise. The onion is being cut for the tomato onion masala. So you don't have to cut fine. You can cut it in big chunks, which I'll just show you. Big chunks is good enough because they'll be sauteed and pureed after that. Remove the top skin. Okay, you can quarter it, cut 3 cuts radially, 1, 2, and just 2 cuts in the middle. That's it. You get big. Don't have to be finicky of how it's cut. Just remove the pip, the corner part of it. This should be removed. And when you cut a corner, just cut the side off. The pip is here. 1 cut, 2, and 1 in the middle. That's it. That's all you need. Cut this half, cut across. You're done. Half, cross. Just to coat the bottom of the pan, not much. That'll be around 2 teaspoons. That should be fine. Let it get piping hot. This is black cardamom, big. 5 or 6 cloves. Broken anise, star anise, that is fine. And half a stick of cinnamon. And let the oil get hot. Throw that in. It should slightly bubble a bit, showing that it is getting sauteed. Spices. You see it bubbling a little bit. And I missed to pound the black cardamom for 30 seconds. The dry spices have sauteed a bit. You throw in the onion. It should be sizzling like this. And at this time, you can add your oil and salt because you like to season this. Season this till it becomes translucent. At this time, you can add a teaspoon of salt. And try and break the onions so they get cooked quicker. We are soaking the cashew nuts. This will be used in the onion tomato masala. This will sort of mellow the gravy kind of thing. You pour some water, drown it in water. You microwave this for 90 seconds and let it soak. The onions are on their way to get translucent. Right now they are not yet. You can still see the whites. So they have to cook for some more time. The onions are pretty much done. They are getting a bit caramelized. We don't want that to happen. We'll lower the gas and we'll put in the tomatoes. We cook the tomatoes till they fully cook and mushy. You can add a little more salt now as tomatoes are a bit tangier and sweet. Let this cook till it is fully mushy. We can start on another pan and start cooking the vegetables. I have poured in some water, just enough so that it will get absorbed and it will be a thick slurry. This is a bit too thick for our liking. We'll add a little more water. Added some more water, and this should pretty much be the consistency. You could add a little bit more water and make it a slurry so it should pour. This is a little bit thick, adding a little more water. This is the right consistency. It flops, it's good enough. We remove all the hard dry masalas because they are not good eats. They are pretty hard, they'll come in the way. We remove them, we actually fish them out. Main vegetables, we add about 2 teaspoons of oil. After the oil has become a little hot, we throw in our cumin seeds, just about half a teaspoon, that's enough. Once it bubbles, we now add the masala paste that we made into the oil. It should start sizzling. You can reduce the heat. We cook the spice till the bubbling stops and you see the oil on the sides, on the edges. We added water in the masala so it doesn't burn when we are cooking it. You can see the bubbles are getting smaller. You can see the oil is coming out of the edges. You'll almost see a layer of oil on the top, implying there's nothing left but only oil and all the water is gone. Ginger and garlic paste, we are adding that now and we'll cook it till the raw ginger and garlic is completely eliminated. If you feel you need a little water, you can add half a teaspoon of water for the cooking to complete. All the water is gone, the tomato is well cooked. It's almost become pulp. At this time you can just shut off the gas and let it cool. And we will puree this in the mixer along with the walnuts that we have soaked.
Not walnut, cashew.
Sorry, cashew nuts. Guys, you can see very clearly the oil is coming all on the edges. This is the time when we can say the masala has been completely cooked and we are ready to put in the vegetables and cook it. Putting the tough guys first, the beans and the capsicum. Yeah, like that. Don't add too much, just maybe half a teaspoon, because we'll be adding more salt as we progress. After having added the little bit of salt, we are adding the salt in a layered fashion so that they get incorporated completely, rather like in the middle or the end where it won't get incorporated well. We have yet to add the cauliflower and the capsicum. For now, we'll cook this with the lid off. Just want to show you guys the oil and the moisture from the vegetables are slowly releasing. They're collecting at the center, and intermittently you can just pick up a vegetable and just take a bite of it. It should not be fully cooked, it should be a little crunchy. as we want the crunch to come through in the final dish. You can see the moisture collecting in the top of the lid. It will drain down to the edge and then fall back into the pot. This will circulate and slowly cook, and you can see at the bottom the liquid and the moisture collecting, and we need to wait for another 5 minutes for the vegetables to get cooked, partially cooked that is. Then we add our cauliflower and capsicum and then give it another 5-10 minutes. Then we are done with the vegetable. After that we'll make the gravy for the korma. Just showing you a snippet of the water droplets collecting from the top, going down. This is what we call steam cooking. We let this cook for another 5 minutes, then we can add the remaining vegetables. This is a snapshot of all the masala has been settled down, and we can stir this once more so everything gets cooked well. We use the method of scoop and fold. Then we make a thick pack in the center, and then we wait for another 4 minutes. It's 7:01. At 7:05 we'll add the remaining vegetables and we'll let it cook and put the lid back. We stir the vegetable again so that they get uniformly cooked. Stir it back, mix all the masalas, and they look again evenly coated. And we are literally just 1 minute away, after which we will add the remaining vegetables. हाकिला हाकिला 7:05 में डालेगा करके बोला, 1 ही मिनट बाकी है बस. We are adding the remaining vegetables, and these are the last two, and we cook them for another 5 to 10 minutes. We'll twist and fold so all the vegetables will get coated, and from now on we have to just slowly cook this vegetable, reduce the heat, add a little salt now because we have added more vegetables, and you can adjust the salt at the end. And we'll add a little bit of water because we literally see nothing. We added a little water to that bowl which had the masala so that we don't go any bit of masala waste, and we just pour it around the side, and there you can see it sizzling. So that is enough water there. Reduce the gas. I still see some vegetables white. They should be fully coated. And I have yet to add the salt. That should be enough. And at the end you can adjust the salt if you find it less. But we are adding the salt now because they evenly can absorb it and cook evenly. And salt also helps in cooking. Now we just close the lid and leave a little well to show that. We'll take the cooked tomato and onion masala. It is pretty cool right now, so it is safe for the jar. It will not have any undue effect. and damaging your Vitamixer mixer. We will now add the soaked cashews here. We'll not add the water for now. Just add a very little water, just for starters. And then having added the cashew nuts, close the lid and give it a high work. This is how it should look. It should be fairly liquidish and almost a smooth paste to the touch. This is the final stage. We'll be adding the full pureed masala in this. The quantity of onions and tomatoes that were made is just enough, and we can scrape everything and not leave anything left. Fold in the masala in this. We'll add a little bit more water to this because it's a bit too dry for the vegetable. It'll be further cooking after this, and this is the pretty much the end stage. We'll add a few garnishings called kasuri methi. I'll show you that later. Okay, this is the amount of water we should add. It's approximately half a cup or 3/4 of a cup. It's 200 ml, and we are pouring all around, and then mix it and then let it simmer, and then we are done. This is the consistency that we should have. We should have a little liquid in the middle, and put the gas to low, and intermittently the last vegetable that you put was the cauliflower and the capsicum. Take a piece of it for sample, see if it is done. Then it should be a little crunchy. And prior to that, add a last ingredient called kasuri methi, which I will show it to you. This is how fenugreek or kasuri methi looks like. You just take a couple of pinches and rub it between your palms just to powder them further, because they are a little larger in size. After having rubbed them, you can then spread them evenly on the vegetable and then let it mix. Once you fold the fenugreek, dried fenugreek leaves, you're pretty much done. You're on the home run. Let it simmer and you're done.